Ken Trahan, Lenny Vangilder. It's our SportsNola.com weekend review, weekday preview from First NBC Bank. Thanks to Ashton Ryan and First NBC Bank for their presenting sponsorship of SportsNola.com. Well, it's been a very interesting weekend, and we start with Saints training camp, Lenny. It's been hot. They've had to go indoors quite a bit, but it's nice to have the story back on the field.
Yeah, the story is back on the field, but still we're only 4 days in, and just learning a little at this point. Only 2 padded practices, seemingly the biggest stories, that have happened out of camp thus far. We've had the unveiling of a statue down at the Superdome. We've seen a 30 by 30 foot mural of Sean Payton looking down off the indoor practice field saying, "Do your job." Those have seemingly been some of the biggest talking points at this point. Now, when we really get action, team against another team, which comes Sunday night in the Hall of Fame game, maybe we can get a little bit more into it.
And by the way, I can't reveal intricate information, but I corresponded with Coach Payton about it. His reply was a smiley face and nice. He enjoyed it.
That's, hey, he's making his impact. And, this is something that Tom Benson wanted, got it, made sure it got up there in time for that Friday afternoon practice. And, hey, I mean, if it provides a little levity, a little reminder about what's going on this year, then so be it.
Well, I think it's levity. I think it's a reminder, and I think it's a poke at the league, frankly.
Well, it could be, absolutely. Guess what? Perhaps the NFC champion, if it's not the Saints, will be practicing in in that facility come late January, early February, and it'll be there as well, I'm sure.
And, of course, they have a preseason game coming up ahead of everybody else pretty much with the Hall of Fame game. So we'll get a chance to take a look at players in action and get a better chance to evaluate as a result. And it's a big weekend because William Roaf is also being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, certainly the most accomplished, most decorated player in New Orleans Saints history.
I think so. I don't think there's any question. And I mean, interesting hearing his thoughts yesterday that, hey, maybe Drew Brees is really the best player in the history of the franchise, even though he's still playing at this point. But certainly this is a well-deserved honor, getting in his second year of eligibility, and his dad will introduce him on Saturday. Truly a deserved honor for William Roaf.
Legion tournament going on in Lafayette. The Jesuit-based team is already in, of course, from Retief Oil and Fuel, but they're playing well anyway.
Yeah, they are. They're 2-0 so far in the tournament, trying to just keep the momentum going. Of course, they win the tournament, then whoever finishes second will represent Louisiana in the Mid-South Regional coming up beginning next week at Kirsch Rooney.
Yeah, August 6th through the 10th, with the winner to go to the American Legion World Series. We had a team win a national championship in 2006, Nationwide Restoration, which was based at Archbishop Rummel High School. Of course, the Olympic Games, a big story. No real local interest to a large degree outside of Anthony Davis. We have some LSU track and field athletes that will get involved extensively later in the week, but some bullet points. First of all, what lame brain kind of rule is it that the all-around champion in gymnastics, 24 people, can only have 2 people from any one country? How stupid is this?
Well, it's kind of like we almost had in college football. We're only going to take conference champions into a playoff instead of the 4 best teams. A similar type thing, but fortunately, smarter heads prevailed, and we're indeed going to have the 4 best teams in college football. It is kind of crazy out there. You really have to feel for people in a situation like that. We're talking about New Orleanians. One we do have to mention, Chelsea Hayes, former Abramson standout at Louisiana Tech. She will be competing next week in the long jump. So a little bit of that, and you've got some other Louisiana athletes from the area. Kim Willoughby, volleyball player from just up the road.
Assumption.
Yeah, and and obviously you mentioned a lot of LSU athletes as well. So some local stories to keep an eye on, but for the most part, like you mentioned, most of the local attention towards Anthony Davis. He's really only getting a chance in these games when they're blowouts. Ideally tomorrow, Tuesday, will be a blowout for the U.S. team. We'll see a lot of Anthony Davis in that game.
Yeah, otherwise, a lot of the stories, boxing judging is hilariously bad. What else is new? And then a lot of soccer stories, from goalkeepers tweeting and complaining about announcers and black eyes being caused by sucker punches to terrible sportsmanship by Spain when they're getting upset by Honduras. Soccer. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's soccer.
There you go.
There you go.
It's good. Follow Alan DeRitter, our soccer blogger here at SportsNola.com. Should be a good week. Lenny, a pleasure.
A pleasure. Good to have you back, and we'll see you later this week.
It's been good, and of course, this is our first NBC weekend review and weekday preview, courtesy of First NBC Bank. Don't forget, starting next Monday night, Sports NOLA TV returns 6 p.m. You won't want to miss it on WHNO Channel 20. For Lenny, I'm Kenny. Have a great day.